Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So Libra, as usual, I'm doing your reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. Um, so interestingly enough, your reading today, Libra, starts with you trying to avoid a conversation or a certain topic. It's almost like trying to hide away or really not talk about something that could have been painful, could have been regretful, could have been um, just not pleasant for you, not a pleasant memory that you would, like to recall, that you would like to touch upon that subject again. And because it's almost like the moment that you talk about it, you relive it. And it feels a little bit like a frustration. And it's interesting because your message, like the underlying tone of your message, feels like you are, um, it's like you're angry with yourself, but angry perhaps is too strong of a word. It's like you're disappointed in yourself for having created certain expectations. And the interesting thing is that yesterday for Virgo, they had this incredible ability to manage their expectations, and tread lightly in a very innocent way. It's like cultivating their innocence, but proceeding forward and essentially reinventing themselves. But for you, Libra, today, I feel like there's still something that is not resolved, something that is not, at least in your mind, this is something that feels like that itchy thing, right? That thing that whenever you think about it, you cringe, or whenever you think about it, it's like it really brings certain emotions that are like a low vibration emotion, whichever this is for you. So the reason why I'm saying that is because we're starting off with the Nine of Swords, and straight away when I saw this card, and it's interesting also because the way it fell from the deck was, it's like in stages. So I feel like maybe there is somebody in your life, Libra, that is trying to convince you to speak about something that happened to you, and you are very it's like you're very decided in this. It's like you're stating to everyone that wants to talk about this with you, you're saying, I don't want to talk about this. This is what I heard with this card. I don't want to talk about this. And you're putting it aside, right? It's like you're it's like you're trying not to make this the focus of your life. It's almost like you're treating this as a done deal, as a resolved matter, but really it's not, because it's become this what if I did that? What if I did something differently? What if I wasn't that hopeful? Or what if I wasn't that excited for involving myself with this? And it seems like, even though you don't want to talk about it, Libra, I feel like eventually you will, because the rest of the message is the story, right? Is the subject, is the thing that you're trying to avoid talking about. Sorry about the noise. So, we're continuing this reading with the Three of Pentacles. And so I feel like whatever it is that, has gone south or didn't work out is some sort of collaboration. And this type of collaboration could be seen as any relationship, really. The thing about the threes, to me, is that, especially the Three of Pentacles, it's going more towards this project-related collaboration, or work-related endeavor, or something that is more business-driven or more practical, right? It includes things in this 3D level. But you had reasons to be hopeful. You had reasons to believe that this get together, that this collaboration, that this group, that this team, that these people were your people, were your group, your peers. That's a word that I'm looking for. It's like, you know, the type of work that fits together. And you know, now that I'm thinking about, didn't this card start the Virgo reading yesterday? I think it was this one. But anyways, for you, it has a very, very different meaning. It's talking about the maybe the desire to collaborate in you, but the way it started, it was very promising. And it was very promising because the Wheel of Fortune coming next, the signs or the it's like the alignment in which every single person in this group or every single piece of this puzzle came together in such a perfect way, in such a it's like in such a perfect timing, right? That you interpreted is this thing, this fact, as meant to be. This is meant to be. We're meant to collaborate. We're meant to do something. Because your vision about it in a very practical way, Libra, is that with the Five of Pentacles, if you are here, if you have been called, or if for some reason you happen to be in this place at this time with these people, it's because you're meant to be here. You're meant to be in this location. You're meant to be doing this. You're meant to be in relationship with these ones. You see, all of this, it's like this entire row is talking about whatever came together at a certain moment because of the perfect alignment, because of the perfect timing. Everything was seen and felt and perceived as meant to be. In your head, in your mind, this was meant to be. You were exactly where you needed to be. So therefore, there wasn't any reasons or you didn't have like you didn't consider, right? Because of all of these signs, you didn't even think about the possibility of this going wrong. It's almost like you were certain that you were in the right place. These other people were also in the right place. It's like everything was just matching, right? It was just coming together in perfection. And so there was no reason for you to doubt that anything could go wrong, especially because after the Five of Pentacles, we have the Six of Pentacles. So things evolving, things, you know, growing and becoming something that is, you know, even like harmoniously, unexpectedly harmonious, because there's something about this Six of Pentacles coming after the Five of Pentacles that I feel like maybe you've never been in this position, or maybe you haven't been like this certain or this reassured in a practical way, in a very, it's almost like when you look around, when you go back to that experience, to that situation, Libra, and you look at the surroundings with the type of knowledge that you had at that time, it's like everything around you was saying, yes, this is meant to be, right? It's like, this is fair, this is just, this is harmonious, this is a beautiful dynamic that promises to grow and become something that is incredibly solid, and incredibly, it's like grounded, right? I'm trying to find a better word for it, but it's like real, right? It's like, it's real. It's like, there wasn't any reason for you to doubt this. It's like you were just, you know, continuously reassured by the evidence around you, by the things around you, by the people around you, that this was incredibly good for you, right? It's like being in the right place, things moving along very smoothly, very seemingly, very naturally, right? It's like the dynamic flowing between this team, between the people engaging in this endeavor, between, you and it, right? Whatever this co-creation was about, that you felt was destined to be like this. But here, this card actually threw me off, really. And this is how you were seeing it. Or it's almost like until this King of Wands came through, everything was going down a path that was very down to earth, really, right? Even though the Wheel of Fortune can be a big energy, and it's like this belief, really, that everything is meant to be. Going from the Three of Pentacles to the Five to the Six, things were growing in a very small way, right? But it's like a very controlled environment. So it was like this slow but steady growth that was very manageable. When this card came through, I was like, but there's too much excitement here. There's too much fire here. Perhaps this is not appropriate to something that is growing so small or so slow, right? It's like the expectations were growing bigger than the things around, right? It's like if it was coming to a point where things were not stale. I don't see that with the six. The six to me is a very dynamic number, and especially being the Six of Pentacles, it's like there are the limitations or the conditions that in the 3D things happen in a slower pace. But your excitement, Libra, it's like was growing faster than the thing itself. You see what I mean? It's like if you started with something that was very if this came to be in a very unexpected way, you didn't have much expectations in the beginning because it was unexpected, right? But the more things presented themselves as perfection, as complete alignment, you seeing yourself exactly where you are, but you know, being proud of that. It's like owning that, right? It's like being happy for being where you are and taking ownership of this position, of this role, of this opportunity, and things showing a little bit of growth, right? It's not much growth, but it's like things are moving, things are happening, but this seems to be slow and steady. This seems to be like this growing desire that is almost uncontrollable, right? If the growth, the physical growth, the evident growth, the apparent growth in the physical 3D level was very small and very progressive, right? Like this gradual, slow growth, your excitement, on the other hand, Libra, seems to have been very like this surge of, you know, passion and desire and, you know, expectations, right? So that's the interesting thing. It's like things weren't, that's the thing. It's like you weren't expecting to be in this situation, but because you were where you were at and things unfolded in a way that it just felt very very meant to be, right? So as I said, it's like you didn't have any reason to doubt anything or to question anything. It's like, so the more that you were engaged in it, the more your fire was growing, the more your excitement was growing, the more your desire to make it grow was growing, right? It's like, so there was something about the excitement level or the passion or the expectations that were beginning to become uncontrollable. It's like you just didn't have it's like maybe you didn't have the maturity, which is interesting because we're talking about a king, and you know, the kings being the last court cards, they usually, you know, achieve a certain level of maturity. But I feel like because this was growing in a very in a different proportion than this, right? It's like the rate in which this was growing was a lot bigger than this. So things were becoming imbalanced, at least in the 3D practical level. And I feel like with this card ending this part of the reading, things went south very, very quickly or very suddenly. It's like suddenly with the moon card, you're in the dark. Suddenly things are cold and mysterious, and there's a lot that you don't know about. So in a practical way, Libra, things were working out very good, right? Things were agreed upon, and it's like there was this follow up, there was this follow through. Your excitement, your growing excitement and growing expectations in a very imbalanced way in regards to the practical and how it was showing the evidence, right? You could feel, I feel like that's the thing. And maybe that's the reason why you didn't want to talk about it, because you knew that you had this fire burning inside of you, but for some reason, things weren't growing in the same way that you wanted them to grow, that you could see the potential perhaps. So that's the reason why now you avoid talking about it, because in a sense, you know that part of, I'm trying to be careful with my words here, because it's not that you're blaming yourself, but in a way you are. It's like you're blaming your, it's not naivety, because it's like it's the king, right? It's like you were following the signs, you were following the synchronicities, you were just allowing yourself to be in this place, right? To align with this bigger plan, this bigger design. It's like things were meant to be, and it was evident that it was so. Why then? Maybe that's the reason why you don't want to talk about it, is because you don't understand. It's like there is a gap here between your excitement, your desire to make this grow, and suddenly things going very cold, very quiet, very mysterious, very dark, very it's like things are very misty, right? You don't know exactly what is going on. It's almost like this curtain of smoke and mist, right? Because this is how I'm seeing this, the moon card. It's like the mystery that has become something that was very clearly, growing steadily, suddenly just um falls away in a sense. So the word that I'm listening, that I just heard with this moon card, is platonic. So, but that's the interesting thing, and maybe that's the reason why I don't want to talk about it either, because you don't understand it. It's like how something so solid could become something so platonic out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's like it doesn't make sense. And that's the part that I feel like you're in. It's like it doesn't make sense. Everything was lining up in a certain way. Why am I not aware of what is going on under the currents or behind the currents, or in this uh it's like you're shrouded in mystery now. And it's almost like you have no way to ask questions, or maybe even the desire, because that's the thing. It's like the moment that your excitement is met with coldness or silence or mystery, or maybe manipulation even, right? It's like you're kept in the dark. You were kept in the dark, Libra. And it's maybe like, maybe there was intention in, you being kept in the dark, because maybe that was going to feed your excitement. But I think it's not what really happened. What happened was that you're out. It's like you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to go back there. It's like you don't want to go to a mystery that you cannot resolve, right? And that's the thing. It's like you don't want to talk about something that has no resolution. And I'm just now being reminded of this phrase that I heard like a long, long time ago when I was a teenager, when I was very anxious and, angry and disappointed with myself for not being capable of resolving issues or dealing with my own problems. And so it's interesting because it connects now to the Virgo reading, because they were very good in problem solving and resolving their issues with, managing their expectations. And so I feel like this, for some reason, for you, Libra, is remembering a time or remembering a situation where you didn't have much control of your expectations and they were growing wildly, right, inside of you, to the point that you were met with mystery, with, you know, with no explanation. And so the phrase that I learned a while ago in Portuguese, it says, o que não está resolvido, resolvido está. So let me see how I'm going to translate that. What cannot be resolved, resolved it is. Kind of like that. I don't know if it makes sense. But so I feel like this is your approach, Libra. You took this approach of not engaging with this anymore, not revisiting this anymore, not talking about this, because for you, if you were left in the dark in a platonic situation where your growing excitement was not being met in the same way, right, in a reciprocal type of way, then you're out of that situation. That's resolved, right? If there aren't solutions, then it is solved. And silence. Silence. So maybe you expected to hear something else, or maybe you do enjoy the silence. Now that you have, talked about it all, like it's something that you didn't want to touch upon, then now that you have said it all, then that's resolved, right? That could be the case. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to pull more cards for you, Libra, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.